What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today is a pretty big news day when it comes to Vanguard as well as Warzone. We got the Season 2 roadmap as well as the Season 2 cinematic, which you guys are seeing in the background right now. And in today's video, we're going to be going through this and talking about all of the important things, at least as they relate to Warzone and multiplayer. I'm not going to get into the zombie stuff, mainly because I just don't understand the zombie stuff because I have that little interest in zombies. So diving right in, let's first cover the stuff that applies to both Warzone as well as multiplayer, and this would be the new weapons that are coming in Season 2. At the beginning of the season, we're going to be seeing two new guns coming in the Battle Pass. We've got the KG M40, which is going to be coming as an assault rifle, even though it's more like an LMG, but that'll be in the assault rifle category. And then we have the Whitley, which looks like it's based off of the Marlin M1917, which is an LMG, and that will also be in the Battle Pass. Additionally, there is a melee weapon coming in season. This is the Ice Axe. And another thing that's coming in season is a new SMG, which is the Armaguerra 43. And this one is going to have a very high fire rate attached to it, which I'm quite interested to see. Now, additionally, across Warzone as well as Vanguard, we are getting 3 new operators. I'm not going to get into them too much. I already talked about them a little bit. We have Thomas, Anna, as well as Gustavo, who's coming in season. And this is where we can move into the multiplayer specific side of things, and then we'll cover Warzone toward the end of the video. The first thing to point out with multiplayer is ranked play, or at least the beta for ranked play, is finally coming in Season 2. And with this, we didn't really get too many details, just confirmation that it's coming in Season 2. They mentioned they will be sharing more information on this later this week, and I'll likely cover that in a video once we get that new information. As for new maps, we're going to be seeing 2 new maps, Gondola as well as Casablanca. And when it comes to Gondola, this is a medium-sized 3-lane map, and it has a gondola that's constantly moving around the map, and you can hop on and off this gondola to get to a high point on the map, which is the Fire Watchtower. As for Casablanca, this one's also described as a medium-sized 3-lane style map, and this is going to be set in a busy marketplace in Casablanca. Now, it's also worth noting that there's a brand new mode coming that's presumably coming with a brand new map, which has been leaked in the past, which is the Alps map, and this mode is called Arms Race. And this is really interesting. Based on all the leaks we've had over the past several weeks, it was looking like we were going to see a ground war style of a game mode similar to Modern Warfare 2019. And I'm pretty sure that's what Arms Race is, but I don't think it's going to be exactly the same. It seems like the objectives are going to be different, and it is going to be more of a twist on that style of game mode. All they've mentioned so far about it is you can pilot motorcycles, squad transport vehicles, and tanks in order to destroy enemy bases. And I have seen the leaked map for this. It looks like it is a large-scale ground war sized map. And I really don't know if this is going to be one team attacking and the other team defending, or if both teams can attack each other's bases at the same time. We'll just have to wait to see more information on this in the future, but this is something that isn't coming with the launch of Season 2. It's coming at some point in season. And in the multiplayer side of things, I think this is the thing I'm most excited for when it comes to Season 2. But on top of that, they did also mention there's 2 new perks coming with Season 2. And they didn't get into too many details with this, but the first perk is going to be a Tier 1 perk, and this is called Armory. And the description for this is it's a direct counter perk to Engineer. And they basically just go on to explain that this is going to be helping you with your placeable equipment and field upgrades. So demolition charges, concussion mines, as well as placeable field upgrades. And this one seems really strange to me. I don't think there's very many people using Engineer out there. And as a Tier 1 perk, this just doesn't seem like it's going to be competing with all of the other Tier 1 perks, unless there's some other twist to it that we just don't know about at this point. As for the other perk that's going to be added to multiplayer with Season 2, this is called Mechanic, and this one's going to be a Tier 3 perk, and this one's just going to allow you to charge up your field upgrades faster, which I didn't even realize we don't have a perk for that yet in the game, so I think this one is a welcome addition, and it makes sense as a Tier 3 perk. Next up for multiplayer, something that's really exciting that I've been asking for quite some time and kind of expecting at some point within one of the seasons. They are adding the Ball Turret Gunner kill streak into the game. So it looks like it's going to be the Ball Turret Gunner basically copied and pasted from COD World War II, which I'm happy about. And with this, it looks like it's only going to last for 30 seconds, and it will be a 12 kill streak, which is the exact same as Attack Dogs. So you won't be able to use this as well as Attack Dogs. You have to pick one or the other. And then finally, when it comes to the important multiplayer stuff to mention for Season 2, we're also getting the Sticky Bomb as a lethal equipment. So just like the Semtex grenade, you can throw this, it will stick to a surface, and it will have a set amount of time before it detonates. So there we go, that pretty much covers the multiplayer side of things. Keeping in mind, this is just the content that they're talking about. They also mentioned there will be several fixes and improvements to the game as well, which I'm very interested to see what they manage to tackle with this big Season 2 update. I'm hoping we see some serious adjustments to the spawn system. I hope we see fixes for the aim assist issues on Xbox. And I really hope we see better connectivity as well for those players that are experiencing the serious packet burst issue. And with that, we can now move into the Warzone side of things, and there's a lot going on in Warzone as well. The first thing to talk about is Nebula 5, and this is kind of like Nova 6. This is a green gas that's toxic and will kill people, and this is coming in several forms to Warzone. First up, as Nebula 5 ammo, and this is a field upgrade that you pick up, likely similar to stopping power rounds. So you pick it up, you can load it into your gun, and they were very careful to state that this ammo doesn't increase the amount of damage that you deal to enemy players. Instead, what it will do is if you down an enemy player while using this ammo, you only get one magazine of this ammo every time you use the field upgrade, that down player will emit a poisonous gas cloud, and anyone that attempts to revive them, or if they stand near them, they will be affected by that gas just like the closing circle on the map. So I think that's kind of an interesting addition, although it also sounds like a very frustrating addition. I don't know how well this is going to be received. I anticipate a decent amount of backlash against this, but I'm curious to see how it ends up playing out. The next element of this Nebula 5 gas is going to be Nebula 5 bombs, and these are going to be one of the rarest items that you can find in Warzone, so presumably you won't be seeing them all over the place all the time. It's a very rare event to run into this. And with this, you get a briefcase full of deadly gas that you can set down in an area. And with this, it can't be destroyed or disarmed once it's planted. It's going to go off no matter what. And the initial explosion will deal a high amount of damage in a small radius. And then gas will spread outward from that briefcase. And from the sounds of it, again, this gas will perform just like the circle gas in the Battle Royale sort of experience. And any operator that enters that area without a gas mask will be hurt. Now, this gas will last for 2 minutes on the map before it's dispersed, and therefore it's just designed to be used as an area of denial tool. And I find this one to be quite interesting. Again, I don't know how well this is going to be received by the community. I think in some ways it could be a really interesting addition to the game because it gives you a little more control over what's going on within the circle. And I can definitely see some great plays being made out of this. But at the same time, I think you should be rewarded for good positioning. And one of these could be throwing that off completely. You might have yourself set up really well, but the other team gets lucky and gets this really powerful equipment that ends up screwing you over. So I am really interested to see just how well this plays out in the game. Now finally, for this Nebula 5 gas, there's another field upgrade that you can get, and this is going to be the Portable Decontamination Station. And this is a device that actually counteracts the gas. Not only that Nebula 5 gas that we just talked about with briefcase bombs, but also the gas that's closing in around the map. With this, when you place it down, it will protect anyone within a small radius of it for several seconds. So you could be standing right in the middle of the gas as the circle's closed in. You could place this down at your feet and stand next to it, and it will essentially create a safe bubble around it for several seconds. We don't know exactly how long it lasts, but it creates sort of a safe bubble in the gas, which I think is a very interesting addition, which again, I could see some great plays being made out of this, and I especially like this because there's solid counterplay to it. If you place one of these down in the gas, every other player on the map can see that being placed down on their tac map. So you'll be able to spot these little bubbles, and you can see when players are using this and taking advantage of that, and you can plan accordingly. So yeah, I actually really like the idea of this field upgrade. As for the next thing that's coming to Warzone, this is the Armored Transport Truck. This is a new vehicle that's coming. It looks like this may be limited to the Search and Deploy event that's coming with the Season 2 update. I don't know if this is going to be in the regular Battle Royale. I kind of doubt that it will be. But with these, they're going to have a ton of health. They're going to be hard to destroy. And they have 2 machine gun turrets in them as well. So extremely powerful. Additionally, it looks like they'll be dropping mines behind it as they drive around. They'll be dropping various mines. And they also mention, upon destruction, these armored transport trucks will drop incredibly valuable items, including, in the rarest cases, an intact Nebula 5 bomb, so that briefcase bomb that we talked about earlier. Next up for vehicles in Warzone, we have a new plane coming, and this looks like it'll be in Vanguard Royale only. And with this, it's the bomber plane, which allows you to drop bombs on players on the ground. And that sounds pretty scary, but apparently these are fairly weak to anti-air guns as well as enemy fighter planes. So if you see somebody that has a bomber, it's in your best interest to get yourself a fighter plane and go and take that bomber down. The addition of this one definitely makes me nervous, and I think a lot of people are feeling the same way when it comes to a bomber. Nobody likes running around playing Battle Royale like normal, only to have a random bomb dropped on their head by something that they can't really challenge with their gun on the ground, or at least probably not very effectively. Although having said that, they did make a mention that they're going to be decreasing the health of planes in Vanguard Royale, and that will include the bomber planes. So I guess they're going to try to make it a bit easier to shoot with like regular guns from the ground. So I guess we'll just have to see how much of a change this is and how effective regular infantry guns will be against these planes. But next up, let's get into some new points of interest. We're going to get a new chemical factory on the map, which you can see right here. It's quite a large point of interest that they're adding to the game, and that's nice to see. And then additionally, they're going to have an underground chemical weapon research lab. So these are really designed to sort of progress the storyline while providing you some new areas to fight in. Now, on top of that for Warzone, they're adding so much with this season. We are going to be getting redeploy balloons, and these are going to work a lot like the balloons that you see in Apex Legends. For those that aren't familiar, these balloons will be in set locations on the map. I think they will vary from game to game, but they will be in set locations and they will appear on your TAC map so you can find them. They'll appear as a blimp. And when you get to them, you spend a few $100 to inflate the balloon. It will rise up in the sky, and then you can zip line up that line toward the balloon. And then from there, you can jump off of that and parachute so you can cover really long distances very quickly. I love the addition of this. If you end up with a bad rotation, you can't outrun the gas or something, these are going to be great for covering a lot of distance very quickly. And I think the thing I like about this the most is the fact that there's some solid counterplay. Once these balloons are inflated, enemies can destroy that balloon. They can shoot it with their guns or take it down with planes, and then you'll have to spend a couple $100 to get it back in the air again. And another thing is, presumably when you inflate one of these balloons, it'll be quite visible to players in the vicinity, and therefore it will be a bit dangerous to be using these balloons because everybody's going to know what's about to happen. So yeah, even though they kind of ripped this idea off from Apex Legends, I really like this idea. I think this is going to improve the pacing and the flow of the maps quite a bit, and it's nice to have something that allows you to get around the map a whole lot faster. Next up, when it comes to game modes, we're going to be seeing Caldera Clash, which is like the team deathmatch that takes place in a small area of the Warzone map. We have seen this in the past with Verdansk. It's a respawn game mode, great for leveling up weapons. And also, more interestingly, in season, we're going to be seeing Rebirth Iron Trials. So this is going to be that rule set that's a lot more competitive. We've got more health, so a much slower time to kill, a much higher skill gap in this, and that's going to be taking place on Rebirth, which I think a lot of people are going to be very happy to see. Now, finally for this video, speaking of Rebirth Island, it looks like we're going to be seeing some changes to this map with the mid-season 2 update. And that's really exciting to see. I don't think we've really seen very significant changes to this map over time, and it's nice to see that it's finally going to be evolving in some way. And with that, that's finally going to wrap it up for today's video, covering all of the important elements of Season 2, at least in my eyes. I think a lot of this is looking very good. I'm very, very excited to check out this arms race mode in multiplayer specifically. And also, honestly, I'm more interested in seeing what kind of fixes and gameplay related changes are coming with this season, rather than the content. The content's all looking great. I'm quite happy to see a lot of this content. But for me, I'm more interested in seeing what they're going to be fixing and changing with the gameplay. Now, of course, these are just my thoughts and opinions. I'd like to hear from you guys in the comment section below. What do you think of the looks of Season 2 based on what we've seen so far? Are you generally excited about this season, or are there certain elements that you're really not looking forward to? Just let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.